Okay. Alright. Are we good? Alright, we seem good. No, okay. This is my first time streaming on YouTube, so I'm a little... I am figuring it out. Okay. Okay, so I can start a poll, I can do all that. Okay. Hello. This is my first time streaming to YouTube, so don't mind me just figuring stuff out. I did do an unlisted stream earlier, but... Okay. This is definitely gonna be a quieter stream. But, you know. Okay, that's all set up. So I got to the point of making the level and I made platforms move the last time I played. I got this up. Yep. I'm just gonna double check that everything I got is working. Yep, picking up the coins. Okay. It's not a very good level. I'm not a very big 2D platform player, but I made it. I learned. All right.
Camera under the player. Go under under limit, and here we can set a position limit for the left,
And
top, right,
this is where I stopped
in our case,
last
we set
time.
a limit for the bottom position. To do this, we can use the ruler tool here at the top, or simply press R, and measure from this baseline here to where we would like the limit of our camera to be. I think a good value would be somewhere around, say, 120. So I'll simply go back to select mode and put in 120 pixels on the bottom. I'm also going to enable smoothing, and now when we play, we can see that our camera will follow the player, but whenever we fall off, it's simply going to stay put. Next, we need to detect that our player has entered a dangerous area and restart the game. In other words, we need to create a kill zone. I'll show you a really cool way to do this that allows us to reuse the same kill zone for more than just falling off the map, such as for spike traps, enemies, all kinds of elements of danger. And when we want to create a reusable element, we start by making a scene. Then to detect if we enter an area, we again use the Area 2D node, and let's make sure to set the collision mask here to 2. We only want to check for the player, which is on layer 2.
Okay.
Mode and put in 120 pixels on the bottom. I'm also going to enable smoothing, and now when we play, we can see that our camera will need to detect that a kill zone. I'll show you a really cool way to do this that allows us to reuse the same kill zone for more than just falling off the map, such as for spike traps, enemies, all kinds of elements of danger. And when we want to create a reusable element, we start by making a scene. Then
okay.
We again use the Area 2D node, and let's make sure to...
So, Area 2D.
Set the collision mask here to 2. We only want to check for the player, which is on layer 2. And we won't add a collision shape here. That's because we want to be able to reuse this for all kinds of elements that might have different shapes. Instead, let's simply go ahead and rename this now to Kill Zone.
Okay.
And save it as a new scene.
Oh. That was Control S. Yeah.
Then in our game scene, we can add it by dragging it in or simply pressing the link button here and selecting the kill zone. And then here, we'll add the collision shape. So I'm going to hit Control A.
I see. So it's preset there, and then you add it. Okay.
Collision shape. For the shape,
so it'd be a collision shape. I assume it's going to be like a rectangle.
Same world boundary shape that we used earlier.
World boundary. Got it.
Now let's make sure to select the kill zone node itself, go into move, and use the move tool to position it down here at the bottom.
Okay.
I'm going to place it pretty far down so we're sure we don't hit this by accident. Or I mean, we're going to be hitting it by accident, so let's make sure we don't hit it on purpose. I mean, I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to place it down here a good bit away from our level. And now we can add a script to make something happen when we enter the area. So in our kill zone, let's select it, add it. New script. For the template here, I'm just going to select empty, and the path, let's put it under the scripts folder. And now
Okay, so new script. object.
Now we have this empty space.
Okay.
Good to play with.
Okay.
I'm gonna connect a signal, so go node. Make sure we have the kill zone node selected. And again, we'll use the body entered signal. Let's double click it.
Blondie enter.
Connect, and it's going to.
Alright, that all looks the same.
Create a new function on body entered, in which case we can go ahead and print that you died. And now if we play and jump down, it's going to print.
Okay.
Print that we died.
Okay. It did not. So then what did I do? Oh, why does it have the void? There we go. So now, okay, same on body. Oh, it's on body exited instead of on body entered. Well, that's fine. We can. It looks the exact same, other than the one word. So, did that fix it? And no. Script. So then with that moved, no. Link on body entered. It looks functionally the same. So what did I do? You know what? I wonder if... Did I mess up on the collision? Inspector... Masked... Night... is on layer 2, so that's right.
That you died. And now if we play and
Does it change anything if it's... entered. No. Collision mask is definitely on that. The knight sits on 2. Should definitely be doing that.
jump down, it's going to print that we died. For the template here, I'm just going to select empty, and the path, let's put it under the scripts folder. And now we have this empty script to play with. I'm going to connect a signal, so go node, make sure we have the kill zone node selected, and again we'll use the body entered signal. Let's double click it, hit connect, and it's going to create.
It looks functionally the same. It doesn't look any different. Key erase this, but that's empty code.
Hit and print that you died. And now if we play and jump down.
So I don't understand. True. Okay. Okay. God, I don't understand. I don't understand where I went wrong. No, that's the same. I see. That's the different coins. So... I don't understand. Okay, we're gonna erase all of this. I'm gonna reset the body entered node. Print. He died. No, because then it won't play at all anymore. Okay, what the hell? Funct on body. Entered. When he selects it, no, it is the first one. Yeah. Print. Okay.
Create a new function on body entered, in which case we can go ahead and print
There it goes. Why wasn't it working before? Excuse me. Why wasn't it working before? It's working now. I'll just save my prayers. Also, hello. Welcome in, Moon. I need to give you mod, actually. Community moderation. Let me copy and paste here. Why is it? Oh, it's being weird. It's like trying to make me mod different people. Okay, there we go. There we go. Just pressing you manually helped. Okay. So debugged that. Don't know what the hell was up with that, but you know.
died and now and jump down, it's going to print that we died. Now, instead of immediately restarting the game, let's add a small delay. We do this using another node called the timer node. So let's add a new node. Search for timer.
Okay.
And under the inspector here, we can choose some different things about it. Let's set wait time to something like 0.6 seconds.
Six.
Let's also make it a one shot to make sure that it doesn't loop. We can then start this timer in our code. To do that, however, we first need a reference to it. Luckily, that's as simple as going to the top of our code
And adding a variable.
and holding down Control while releasing. This creates a variable
Okay.
called timer that automatically finds the node using this path. Now, if you haven't worked with paths before, they are actually quite simple. They specify a way to get from one node to another in the tree. So if we look at this example tree, to get from the game node to the camera, the path looks like this. It goes through the player and ends with the camera. And in our case, where we just want to get from the kill zone to the timer right underneath, we don't have to go through any other nodes, so the path is simply timer. Again, right now we're brushing over concepts such as variables and functions pretty briefly, but you can learn more about programming and what all this really means in our upcoming video on GDScript. For now, just know that using this click and drag method, we can now access our timer
I'm so
using the
comfy.
name of the timer. So to start our timer, we make a new line and write
Okay.
dot start.
Ah. Start.
Of course, we now need to trigger some code when our timer runs out. And
Okay.
again, we can use a signal for this. So with our timer node selected, let's go under node, and here's the timeout signal. So let's double click that and hit connect. And this creates a new function called onTimerTimeout.
Connect. Okay.
That runs when the timer ends. And then in here, we can simply restart our game. To do this, we first access the scene tree, so get tree. And tell it to reload, so reload current scene.
Ah. Reload currency.
So our player enters the kill zone and triggers the onBodyEntered function. This prints a message that we died and starts the timer. When the timer runs out, it triggers the onTimerTimeout function, which then reloads our scene and restarts the game. And indeed, when we play and jump off the map, we fall down.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Let me just make sure that it's all working. Yeah. Okay. Huh. I'm having an issue. For some reason. For some reason, it's overwriting the coin code. Oh, you little bitch ass. Why did it open on there? Okay. Okay, coin. Coin I need. And then... bro. What the fuck is it doing? Why? Oh. Oh, that messes up a lot of things. Okay. Oh. So how do I fix this? So the issue is I'm not even sure what went wrong. If I went to the coin, I erase this, and then I go to the kill zone one. It's counting it as the whole game script. No, I only want it to be... Oh no. Okay. You know what? Half of me is curious to just scrap this, restart the game, and see if I can make it... Okay, okay. Can I open a new project? If I just... Nope, that didn't help either. Yeah, I'm gonna restart it. Don't save. 'Cause I don't care about you anymore. Okay. It's fine because it's just figuring things out. All I'm doing is learning the engine. If I need to restart, who cares? Okay. So the first thing was putting in character body 2D. Create. And there is nothing here. That's fine. because then you add in a sprite. Animated sprite 2D. Create new sprite frames. If I remember right, at least. Shader editor. How did you put the sprite in again? I'm trying to see if I can load. Oh, that's right. I need to re-put all the assets in. Okay. Load. Go into sprites. Hello? Are they not there? No, they are there. They absolutely are there. No. Oh, no. You have to go in here and load in. Yeah. And then we need to make it all fit. 8. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Add 4 frames. And then there's the little guy. Okay. I want him a little bit speedier. Okay. All right. So, and then they didn't have any boundary. So collision shape 2D, and it was new world boundary. Okay. So, and then if we were to no, because I needed to do a new node first. Okay. Undo. None of that counts. This first one's the game scene, which means we need a new. Okay. We need a new thing with the knight. Create. And this is going to be saved as player. Okay. And then it's the animated sprite 2D. Create. animation, new sprite frames. Press on that. Then we open up the night. Open. It's already 8 by 8. And then we want to add the 10. There we go. There's that. Character in. I can navigate that much. Okay. So, fuck. How do we give movement controls? I'm pretty sure it was we had to add a new script. And then it was the character basic movement. And then, we make a scripts folder. Wherever the scripts folder is. There's an inherit scripts folder. We can add that, I believe. Can I rename you? Okay. Rename. Okay. Okay. So, and then under game, you want to create new folder and then name that script. Okay. So now when I go to make a folder for this, I can go into game and I can save it under scripts. Open. We're using the character body basic movement template. I don't think we touched it past that. So 2D. And then we add, because we need to save the scene first. Game, sprites, save. Okay. Sprites. I think I messed up on how this is organized. But it still does work if we drag him in. That he's now in here. Okay. Oh, right. Because he's all blurry, we need to go into the project settings. Plugins. It was textures. Nearest? Yeah. I am so good at remembering how to do things. And then if we add the collision shape 2D, we can do that, which stability Just gonna name a game, actually. I don't have a camera set. Okay. I remember we set the camera. On position smoothing enabled. And then on. Right limit. And it was 179 pixels. I remember that. Okay. Okay. So the player doesn't have any collision yet. So of course he's gonna fall right through. Okay, so he's gonna be on 2. And his collision shape is a little circle. Okay. There we go. I don't know if I did this right or not, but what's going on here? Okay. So there's no shape. Okay. Oh, it's a little more organized. How do I make the collision work again? Oh. So I can connect. Maybe. No. I cannot seem to remember, so back in the video we go. Oh, page crashed.
Character. Player 1.0. So let's create a scene where we'll put everything together. This is going to be a 2D game, so I'll select 2D scene. And let's rename this from Node 2D to Game. And even though it's empty, let's go ahead and save it. So hit Ctrl S, go under Scenes, and let's save it here. And now we can actually play our game. It's not going to be very exciting, but let's select it.
Already did that.
Our game scene becomes blue to let us know that this is now our main scene. And as you can see, not much.
That's right. It's supposed to be saved under scenes. Okay. I can just rename this. Okay.
Much is happening here. So let's stop playing by hitting the scene, and the root node for our player is going to be what is called a character body.
Which I did.
Node by pressing the plus here or hitting Control A, and let's search for a character body for character environment. Be our player A. In our case, we want to we can use a different node. So our inspector allows us to change things about a node. Right frames, the individuals at the bottom. And in this window, we're going to press this tiny icon here that lets us add frames from a sprite sheet. So let's click that, go into our assets, under our pack doing animation, unmanageable amount of files. Now to start adding these frames in, we first need to configure the grid here. Currently it's set to 4 by 4. Let's go ahead and increase this. I've created an 8 by 8 grid here. And as you can see, each frame now has its own grid cell. And let's just start by adding the idle animation. Here in one and the next one. We can always click again to remove. And this is how you can quickly build an animation from different parts of your sprite sheet. So I'll select these 4 frames and hit add frames. Now let's
which already did.
Our character on the screen with the little mouse button to pan. Now our character looks weirdly. By default, Godot is going to try to do some texture smoothing to textures. And here
Also remembered how to do that.
Linear animated sprite. Let's try playing the animation faster. Enable and move it up to make it kind of stand. As you can see, we're currently that this node has no shape, so it can't be a set. I'm gonna search for a collision line, a new shape.
Alright, that one.
But that's done to make them a bit smaller than the graphics. So let's now rename the top node here to, and now we can go into our game scene and simply drag our player in here. So I'm going to control what is currently being shown. So let's add a new node, hit Control A, search for camera, huge camera viewport. This is definitely currently too large, so let's zoom in on our.
Oh, right. So that's one thing I forgot about. Zoom. Yeah. How big did you want the camera to be? 4. Okay. 4. Okay. So now did I do it right? Still didn't do the bottom collision right, but okay.
4, and simply click and drag our camera to be on top of the player. And now we can try playing our game. And there you go. We now have a player that is playing an idle animation and nothing else is happening. That's because we need to add a script that allows us to move around. So let's close our game, go into our player scene, and with our player node selected, let's press this Add Script button. Here we can choose a template. Of course, we're going to do some programming in this video, but writing player movement can quickly become a bit overwhelming. So for now, we'll use the basic movement template provided by Gogh. Then later, we'll go in and modify it to play different animations and rebind input to the keys we'd like to use. As for the path here, I'm going to make sure that we put this inside of our scripts folder, and let's just name it player.
Oh!
Let's say create. And as you can see, this creates a script that will move around our character. I know that this might look really confusing at first, but don't worry, we'll have a look at what all this means later. For now, let's just try playing. And our player immediately falls off the screen. That's because we need to give him a collider to stand on. Right now, our player has a collider, but it doesn't have anything to collide with. So in our game, I'm going to go back to the 2D view at the top here. This is where we can change from script view to 2D. Let's add a new node. So let's hit the plus sign.
Which I did already do.
Body, 2D, and this is another
Static body. I forgot the static body. That's what I frickin' forgot. Okay, okay. Okay. The jump looks so weird without the thing, but you know, it works. I did that on my own. I just forgot about the static body. Yeah. I also have food now, so a little food break. I forgot to get credit on Godot that I was working. Alright, Godot's gonna think that I'm working, but I'm actually eating. But that's because I have an hour of work that it won't count now. Hello, hello, hello. Okay. So just finished the collision shape. He's moving a bit. And the one thing... Speed, more like 200. Did I set the jump velocity to in the thing?
For now, let's just try playing. And our player immediately falls off the screen. That's because we need to give him a collider to stand on. Right now, our player has a collider, but it doesn't have anything to collide with. So in our game, I'm going to go back to the 2D view at the top here. This is where we change from script view to 2D. I'm going to extend pressing this icon here. And there we go. Our player now gently lands on the collider.
I think the next step is you make the texture.
Fast, and I think his jump is a bit too high, so let's modify our script to change that. Let's close our game, go into our script, and at the top here there are two constants that we can modify, our speed as well as our jump velocity. So I'm going to set the speed to something less like 130 and the jump velocity to say -300. And now when we play, it looks and feels a lot better. So our player is moving around, but currently there's not much to look at. So let's build a world to explore. World building 1.0. So to build our world, let's begin by removing our collider here. We're going to build an actual ground for him to stand on. And let's instead add a tile map node. So let's press new node and search for...
Yeah. So it's delete that. Okay. Tile map node. Create. And then new tile set. And I forgot how you do the rest.
Now, the most common way to create levels in 2D is by using tiles. In other words, we build brick because we can use the paint set. So just created tile map, we need to add a tile set. So in our inspector under tile set, we'll create a new tile set. And if we press it here, we get to configure
Right. I always forget that you have to physically like press it.
About it. The main thing you want to make sure is set correctly is the tile size. The tile set in our asset, at the bottom here you can see that we have two tabs. We have the tile set and tile map. So
Yeah, okay. So that goes here, and then tiles made from textures. Sprites. World tile set. Open. Make it bigger.
before we can start painting stripe, let's make some more room. Detected the grid cells, erase a bunch of different tiles, and then hold down shift while clicking and dragging to turn this into out of the erase mode, and then hold down shift while clicking and dragging to turn this into one big tile. It's also split up the trees into 3 different tiles, but in this case it's actually something that we want because it allows us to create.
Okay. No, so you have to hold shift while you click and drag. So, yeah, there we go.
Trees of varying heights. I'll show you this once we start painting. Other than that, I think it looks good. So with this tile set up, we can now go to our tile map and start. Painting. Make sure that the scene has the select tool and that the tile map has the paint tool enabled. And now let's simply select a tile and start painting it in. If you make a mistake, you can always right click to remove. So I'm just going to fast forward through me drawing out the level here. As you can see, I begin by blocking out the most essential game parts, leaving in room for gameplay objects like moving platforms and enemies. And then only once I'm finished with that, I start decorating. And if the trick here is that you can select multiple tiles at once to paint them more than one, and you can always go into select mode in order to select large chunks and move them.
Okay.
Now once I'm ready to start decorating, let me...
Now, no, I remember I messed up on how it felt to jump up. Previous one. So, and then we're gonna have ways over, because that's where we're gonna have the moving platform later. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. You know what? I'll keep that. I'll keep that as a note. If you like just do that, it shows up almost like it's a little bush. There's better bushes, but I don't know why I'm decorating already. He just said not to, but okay. And why you want to try to make your way over to there, right? Is because there's going to be like a platform, and then you can get another coin up here. Okay, okay. And I'll put another one like right here. And I'll put another moving platform like right here.
Mind if I talk to you for a few minutes?
Okay, I think that's a good enough start to start decorating. Okay. Okay. Because if the moving platform is going from here to here, it should probably be jumpable. It'll be a hard check to make, but you know, I'm sure someone can do it. Okay. Okay. I don't know what the things are gonna be, but okay. Yeah, they should still fit fine if... Gonna do that so that that's not as, like, impossible feeling. Okay. Hopefully get, like, if you fall when doing that, you can try to aim for that and then go up here. And a very tall tree there for fun. Okay, I think this is solid so far. It's not the fanciest thing, but... Okay.
Just show you the cool trick with the trees here. So let's say we want to add a tree here at the top. Our player is going to fall right off. That's because we need to add a physics layer to our towns. To do this, we go to our town map, go under our town set, physics layers.
Ah. Add element.
And add a new layer. Then with this layer, we can go under our tile set, and here we need to choose what tiles belong to the physics layer, because we don't want to collide with everything in our tile map. The trees and bushes, we just want to pass right through. So let's go to paint here, and the property that we want to paint is the physics layer 0.
Okay. Just paint everything that we want to have collision. I think I want bottles to have collision. All right. There and there, and then here we need to slip it down just because it's gonna. Back up. Okay, I think that was all the.
We just created, and now we can actually go ahead and paint onto our tiles these physics settings. So if I want to remove a tile, we go here, select clear, and now we can paint with no physics, or we can go back to the default tile shape, which is the entire tile, and paint with that, or simply hit F to do that. So C and F are the shortcuts here. Now, there are also some tiles that we do want physics on, but where we need the collider to only be on part of the tile, such as our bridge here. So if I zoom in on
Which I already did.
And remove points by clicking and right collider, then we can paint these onto the 3-dip bit. I'm going to paint that on as well. And the final one here, let's go ahead and make that go in the opposite direction. And here you actually want to be pretty precise whenever you have an overlap of the colliders here. Also going to take the tile map and drag it to the very top so that we can always find it. And now when we
Tile map.
play, we are indeed colliding with our environment.
Okay. Okay. I might. I'm gonna change it. Colliding with the bottle is stupid. Okay. Okay. We don't have all the tools to get across. Because I forgot how to make the moving platform. I need a refresher on that.
Awesome. Now we probably want our camera to follow the player because he's currently just running off the screen. So I'm going to make some room here.
Already did that.
2D and simply drag it under the player.
Haha, I've remembered how to do that.
Just automatically follow the player node. I'm also going to make sure that the camera is still positioned right on top of the player. And we can even turn on position smoothing to really smooth out our camera follow. So I'm going to enable position smoothing on the camera with a default speed of 5 pixels. And now when we play, As you can see, our camera smoothly follows our player. Awesome. So now we have a first draft of our game world, but so far everything is stuck to the grid. Let's start adding some dynamic and moving elements, such as platforms. Platforms, some that move and some that don't. So whenever we're gonna hit add and search for the animatable body 2D.
Animatable body. Yeah, and then it's another scene and the animated body. Okay. Create.
This is a physics body that we use whenever we want to animate a node and still have it collide properly with other nodes in its path, which is perfect for moving platforms that should still collide properly with our player. So let's hit create and let's add some graphics. So Control A, we'll search for sprite and select the sprite 2D. And now we can drag in the texture we want. So let's go under our assets, sprites, and drag in the platforms.png. Let's hit F and zoom in. And as you can see, this is also a sprite sheet.
Okay.
And it's currently just this.
Okay.
Displaying all of them. So let's go in and define exactly which one we want to show. We can do this under region. Enabled and hit edit region. And so we
Okay. Okay. There we go.
we can kind of crop out the element that we want to show. I'm going to change the snap mode here to pixel snap, and I'm just going to go for a default grass platform. That looks good. And now when we close it, we can see our sprite perfectly cropped out. Again, we have the warning here, so let's go ahead and add a collision shape to.
Okay. Create. Okay.
For the shape, I'm going to add a rectangle shape, and I will simply click and drag this to configure. Then let's rename our top node here to platform.
Okay.
And save the scene, so Control S. In our scenes folder, hit save. We've actually created our platform. So in our game scene, we can drag it in, go into scenes, find the platform, drag it into wherever we'd like, and let's hit play. And as you can see, it works. However, one problem right now is that we can't actually jump onto the platform from underneath. To fix this, we turn it into a one-way platform. So in our platform scene, let's select our collision shape and enable.
Right. One way.
one-way collision. And now when we play, we can jump onto platform.
Okay. So now that's there. And interestingly enough, if you get stuck down here, you can choose to go like up here. But there's also that. Oh! Actually can manage to do that. Okay. I don't want the player to be able to do that actually, so. Tile map. Do this over here instead. And then can they still? They still can. What if I like removed all this, right? What if I put it up one? Oh, you know what? You know what I could do to prevent it? Make it be like a little wall here. So players should still be able to like jump up there. And the moving platform will move up. And then another platform will move things up. Okay. Okay. Okay, so now obviously I can't test how hard that thing is, but yep. Now the player can't jump to there from here. Tile map. Okay. You know what? They might be able to. Okay. There should be fine.
because the platform is currently after the player in the tree. This means that each frame, the player is drawn first, and then the platform is drawn on top. We could just move the player in the tree, but I don't want to depend on that. Instead, we fix the draw order by changing the z-index of the player. So, in our player scene, we go under Ordering and set the z-index to something higher, like 5. By default, all visible nodes have a z-index of 0. Because they all have the same index, they are drawn according to their order in the tree. So, by setting the z-index to a higher value, like 5, we ensure that our player will always appear on top. And now, if we play, we can see that our player passes in front of the platform. So our platform is working, but it's currently just hovering there. We might want some platforms to move around to increase difficulty. So let's use animation to do that. I'm going to leave this platform here as kind of a static platform. I'm just going to place it there. Then I'm going to place another platform over here by simply dragging it in. This is the platform that I would like to move back and forth. In fact, let me just go into the tile map and make this gap even larger. There we go. So to add animation to this platform only, we simply select it, add a new node, and we want to use an animation player.
Okay. Player, create this.
Let's hit create. And now we can add a new animation, and let's name that move.
Okay.
Animation players in Godot are extremely powerful because they allow us to animate pretty much anything. In this case, we just want to do something really simple. We want to go to our platform and make a keyframe under transform for the position. So I'll hit the key.
Okay. Which thing is under? No, to transform. Okay. Create. And then we move this to where we want it. And I want it to be more like, please. Unless I did that wrong. Okay.
Right here and hit create. Then we can go forward in our timeline here.
Yeah, we are forward in the timeline.
To say 1 second, move our platform to the right.
On this. I see.
I'm also going to hold down shift to kind of snap it to one axis. Let's move it to there, and let's add another keyframe. And now
that
can see that if we play,
is not how it looked. Why is it?
here and hit create.
Oh. Cause my... Okay.
Mind if I talk to you for a few minutes?
I'm trying to edit. Yeah, no shit. It was being weird. Okay. Okay, okay. Oh. Okay. There. I'll play a load, and I forgot how to loop it, but he'll teach us that.
Forward in our timeline here to say 1 second. Move up 1 point to the right. So I'm going to click and drag. I'm also going to hold down.
I'm gonna go ahead and make this one's animation player too. New. Okay. Key. And key. Alright, autoplay unload.
On shift to kind of snap it to one axis. Let's move it to there, and let's add another keyframe. And now we can see that if we play, the animation plays. We also want this to loop, so I'm going to select loop here.
I forgot where the loop button was initially. Okay. So then that should be working then. You know? I think I forgot that there was another step.
However, this is going to loop in a way that it snaps back to the original keyframe. Instead, let's press it again.
Right, okay. Somehow I feel like I'm learning a lot more doing this the second time around. Maybe because I'm just... Oh! Okay, I think I want that to be, how do I extend it again?
And now you can see that it's going to start ping-ponging back and forth. If If this is currently too fast, we can simply increase the length of our animation. So here's the length. Let's set it to 1.
Ah. Yeah, I'll get that precise. And then this one. Okay. I may have messed up. Okay. No, it's supposed to be this one. Okay. Here. Add in that keyframe. Now. Okay, and then you. Okay, I want that to feel just that much slower. There we go. Okay, okay. And if we went back here, now we could make that jump and make our way over here. Yeah, it's really hard to make that jump too, so that's fine. I think that's a fine way for it to go. Okay.
0.5 instead, and drag our last keyframe to the end. And there we go. We now have a moving platform. Let's place it. Again, we collide with other objects, but instead with the type of node that we use, and let's this time search for area 2D. This is a type of node that we use whenever we don't want to collide with other objects, but instead we just want to define an area in which we can detect collisions. So we simply use this to detect if another body enters, such as the player character. Let's create an area 2D. Let's also add some graphics, so Control A, search for sprite. We'll select the animated sprite.
Because I'm making the coin. Animated sprite. Sprite frames, make it from, we want the coin. There we go. Cool. Okay.
Add some new sprite frames. Select it, and let's look and add the frames. Let's hit F and zoom in. Set the FPS to 10 and hit play. And that's our coin animation. Let's make sure that this auto plays, and just like a normal physics body, an area 2D also needs a collision shape. So let's add a collision shape.
Yeah. Okay.
2D, and then for the shape, let's just choose a circle shape, decrease the radius a bit, and that's actually all we need. So let's select our area and rename it to coin, and save the scene. And now we can simply drag it into our game. So under scenes,
Okay. You need to not be. All right.
I'll take the coin and place it around the level. You can always use Control D to duplicate. And now if we play, you can see that the coin is here, but nothing happens if we enter the area. So it's time to make our first script. So in our coin scene, we select the coin node and hit Add Script. This time for the template, let's just choose the default template, and for the path, let's make sure that this goes under the scripts folder. I'll create, and this is what it looks like when we create a default script in Gogh. We can see that we've created the script on an area 2D node, and
Okay.
it's automatically made two functions for us that we often use: ready and process. Currently, both of them only have the pass keyword, which means do nothing. So this script, if we run it, will do absolutely nothing. Now, the ready function is called right when our node enters the scene tree, which is just at the start of the game. So we can put code here that we want to happen immediately. Let's try it out by printing a quick message to see if it's working. So I'm gonna write print, then in parentheses...
For some reason, it didn't put.
I'm a coin. And if we play now, the print doesn't do anything in our game, but it does show our message I'm a coin in the output window.
For some reason, it doesn't show the default things, but that's fine because we're not using those right now anyways.
However, you might also notice that the message displays multiple times. That's because we currently have multiple 5 coins when we start the game. So I'm actually just going to remove these 2 functions. Instead, we only want to do something once our player enters the coin area. And for this, we use a signal. Signals allow us to trigger code based on events that happen in our game. Gogh has many built-in signals we can use. If we select our Area 2D node and go to the Node tab, we can
I'm pretty sure it's body entered.
all the signals on this node. We want to use the body entered signal, which is triggered whenever a physics body enters the area. Since our player has a character body 2D node, this is going to trigger the signal. So to connect it, we simply double click it and hit connect. As you can see, this creates a new function in our script called onBodyEnter with a green arrow that shows that this is triggered by a signal. So let's here try writing a print function that says something like +1 coin. Now when we play and enter the coin area, it's going to print +1 coin.
Okay. Let me just make sure that that's working. Yep. I also want to just test how easy it is to get around to. Yeah. It's really hard to get back up there. So, what I might do is really quickly just edit the tile map again. And just add like a single one down here. And that should be enough. Okay. Coin script.
Fine. However, this message will actually display no matter which body enters the area. If we take one of these coins here and put it in the way of a moving platform, for example, this will also trigger the message. So now, right when we play, we can see that it starts displaying the message, and will do so every time the platform passes through the area. To change this, we can either use code to check what body enters the area, or we can simply put our player on a separate physics layer. Let's try that out. So under our player, we'll go to the inspector, go to collision, and here we can change the physics. Layer from layer 1 to 2. Let's hit Control.
Don't know why that's different, but you know, it's whatever.
To save, and then in our
Coin, you make it so that it only senses 2, right?
we can also go under collision, have the coin itself stay on layer 1. We don't need a separate layer for that yet, but we want to make sure that it only detects colliders in layer 2. For this we use the mask. The mask defines what layers a node collides with. So let's set that to layer 2, because that's the layer that our player is on. That should actually do it. Now our coin will only detect collisions from our player. And instead of just displaying a message, let's also remove the coin from our scene when we pick it up. So in our script, after printing one coin, let's add a new line. We'll call the queue_free function, which is simply...
Yeah.
going to remove the entire coin scene from our game. And indeed it does. And our...
Right, queue free. And yep. Now when we get back down, we can get back up easier. There we go.
And I can now start gathering some coin. Now, depending on what type of loot we pick up, we want different things to happen. In this case, I want to display a score that increases when we pick up a coin. But we'll look at that when we get to text. First, I think something a bit more pressing is dying and restarting our game. Dying 1.0. So we happily move along in our world until suddenly we miss a jump and fall into the abyss. And then nothing happens. Let's change that. The first thing we want to do is limit our camera so that it doesn't follow our player.
Which I already did, so that's fine.
Really, and in our case, we need to here at the 2, say 120. So far, our camera will follow the player, but whenever we fall off, it's simply going to stay put on the game. In other words, we need to create a kill zone for more than just falling off the map, such as for spike traps, enemies, all kinds of elements of danger. And when we want to create a reusable element, we start by making a scene. Then
Okay. So this is where it murdered me earlier, but
to detect if we enter an area, we again use the area 2D node.
area 2D.
Let's make sure to set the collision mask here.
Collision mask.
To 2. We only want to check for the player, which is on layer 2. And we won't add a collision shape here. That's because we want to be able to reuse this for all kinds of elements that might have different shapes. Instead, let's simply go ahead and rename this now to Kill Zone and save it as a new scene. Then in our game scene, we can add it by dragging it in or simply pressing the link button here and selecting the kill zone. And then in here, we'll add the collision shape. So I'm going to hit Ctrl A, collision shape. And for the shape, we'll use the same world boundary shape that we used earlier for the ground. Now let's make sure to select the kill zone node itself, go into move, and use the move tool to position it down here at the bottom. I'm going to place it pretty far down so we're sure we don't hit this by accident.
Okay. Check 2D. Okay, that looks right.
Well, I mean, we're gonna be hitting it by accident, so let's make sure we don't hit it on purpose. Or I mean, I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna place it down here a good bit away from our level. And now we can add a script to make something happen when we enter the area. So in our kill zone, let's select it, add a new script. For the template here, I'm just gonna select empty.
Empty. Create.
And the path, let's put it under the scripts folder. And now we have this empty script to play with. I'm gonna connect a signal, so go node, make sure we have the kill zone node selected. And again, we'll use the
Body entered. Okay. And they're separate now.
body entered signal. Let's double click it, hit connect, and it's going to create a new function on body entered, in which case we can go ahead and print that
Looks the same. Going on there. Okay. It was just being done. Also.
you died. And now if we play,
Because I'm nervous, I'm gonna grab the coins and then you died. Okay. Okay.
and jump down, it's going to print that we died. Now instead of immediately restarting the game, let's add a small delay. We do this using another node called the timer node. So let's add a new node, search for timer, and
Yeah.
under the inspector here, we can choose some different things about it. Let's set the wait time to something like 0.6 seconds. Let's also make it a one-shot to make sure that it doesn't loop. We can then start this timer in our code. To do that, however, we first need a reference to it. Luckily, that's as simple as going to the top of our code, clicking and dragging the timer node,
Okay.
and holding down Control while releasing.
Okay. So you have to hold down control as you release. This is still good? This is still good. I'm watching you.
This creates a variable called timer that automatically finds the node using this. Now, if you haven't worked with paths before, they are actually quite simple. They specify a way to get from one node to another in the tree. So if we look at this example tree, to get from the game node to the camera, the path looks like this. It goes through the player and ends with the camera. And in our case, where we just want to get from the kill zone to the timer right underneath, we don't have to go through any other nodes, so the path is simply timer. Again, right now we're brushing over concepts such as variables and functions pretty briefly, but you can learn more about programming and what all this really means in our upcoming video on GDScript. For now, just know that using this click and drag method,
Which I've been going through a Python beginner thing.
to start our timer, we make a new line and write timer dot start.
Yeah.
Of course, we now need to trigger some code when our timer runs out. And again, we can use a signal for this. So with our timer node selected, let's go under node.
Node.
And here's the timeout signal. So let's double click that and hit connect. And this creates a new function called onTimerTimeout that runs when the timer ends. And this function, so let's
On the
double
connect, it's still, yeah.
And this creates a new function called onTimerTimeout that runs when the timer ends. And then in here we can simply restart our game. To do this, we first access the scene tree, so get tree, and tell it to reload. So reload current.
Okay.
Scene. So our player enters the kill zone and triggers the on body into its function. This prints a message that we died and starts the timer. When the timer runs out, it triggers the onTimerTimeout function, which then reloads our scene and restarts the game. And indeed, when we play and jump off the map, we fall down and the scene restarts. Great! It's an infinite loop. Help me! I'm stuck! World Building 2.0. Let's expand on our game world a bit now that we have more elements to work with. First of all, I want to make sure...
Okay. Now let me... Something's not working. It's all working. That's all working. On timer, timeout.
that we stay organized. Start speed.
Get tree, reload current scene. So this all looks the same. So where am I messing up? Inspect. Or tree. And then it's the dot. I know there's been several times where it's just... There we go. Coins are working. That's working. Good.
Timer. When the timer runs out, it triggers the on-timer timeout function, which then reloads our scene and restarts the game. And indeed, when we play and jump off the map, we fall down and the scene restarts. Great! It's an infinite loop. Help me! I'm stuck! World Building 2.0. Let's expand on our game world a bit now that we have more elements to work with. First of all, I want to make sure that we stay organized, so let's take some of these nodes and categorize them. The easiest way to do this is by simply adding a new node. For this one, I'm just going to select the base node here, hit create, and now we can rename this. I'll make one for, say, coins.
Okay. And now you can put every single one of these into here. Oh, I thank God, because the coins are a little bit overwhelming. Too many of them. Got too many coins. Okay.
And simply take all of the coins and drag them under that node. We can do the same thing for platforms.
Close 2D. My node. Okay.
And any other elements that are cluttering up your scene. Now I'm going to pin in a bit more level and change the things that I don't like.
Do I want to paint in more level right now? Yeah, sure, fuck it. Tile map. Let's flesh out here. Okay, so now there's a little more variety. So I had to go here and then jump. Just for fun, I think I want to make them have to do a leap of faith. And I'm gonna have the thing on trust your gut. Maybe put the thing as that. Okay, I just want to double check that you can't see it from that angle. Okay. Okay. Up. Ay. Up. You know? Struggles. Okay. Leap of faith. Low-key a little bit of a rage, but that's fine. There's a market for that. Okay. So, I can't see anything from here. I wasn't actually looking to see if you could see the thing, which was why I was testing it anyways. Good to know it is possible to get up there. Yeah, you can't see it. Okay. So it is a leap of faith. Whee! You can see it when you die. So that's one thing. But okay. I'm gonna make this a little bit easier. There we go. It's a little bit easier, but it's still entirely possible to accidentally die. Yep. Okay. Honestly, I think leap of faithing into the like lava section would be fun. Might put like spike track there later whenever it's like on that part. And this will be like a very heavy like enemy focus area, I feel. Okay, and I want another moving platform like right here. Moving platform right here. Make use of more vertical space actually. There's a lot of verticality to be had. Okay. Okay, another bridge area. There's like a secret thing. What if I made it so there was like a secret message like right here? I think that might be funny. I want to have one be like impossibly high in the sky. Because I think that's silly. It's very silly. Okay. When you die, you can get like a peek that there's something over there. And I bet you... But you can't reach it from here. So I think that might intrigue people. Get them to go over there. I got so lucky there. You guys cannot see when I'm doing the... Okay. Let me do... Because I want you guys to be able to see when I'm... Game test. No. Well, that's how it's looking. You know, I just realized he's not doing the... He's not doing his little animation. I never pressed the autoplay. Okay. So now he is. And why is it? Okay. Yeah. So it'll like tease you a little bit. Oh. You can tell that there's something going on in the upper regions. But it's not until you get over here and you go up here that you can like access them. This tree is so funny. Okay. And then you can leap of faith and read the sign finally. Okay. So there's that side, but I want to test out how it feels to go around the fire side that I made. Leap of faith. If I made it a little spike trap. I'll definitely want to have not that. Okay. Noted. I'll edit that. I don't think the platform itself is an issue. I think it's more so an issue of I need to... Okay. Well, no, these ones were fine. It was this side that was the issue. Okay. I wanted this up just a bit. So that just for visual, I'm gonna make it be like a spike pit. Actually, if I make it a spike pit, maybe I should make it like that. Okay, okay. I don't know for sure that there's spikes in here, but I'm designing it like how I actually would want to. Okay. I'm gonna have it be a another moving platform right here. It goes up. It's a little more condensed area. Okay. Okay, and there's another little area here just to... that just gives you another little side thing. Okay. I can always...
more gameplay elements. I'll also paint in some background tiles. But to do this,
Okay. I'll do with the background tiles in a little. So... scenes... 2 right here. A lot of my trees for some reason veer this way, but you know what? That's fine. And you get some coins just for landing here, taking the faith leap. Don't have a way to get up there yet, but that's going to be another platform. Which... it's you want to add a... able to double check what it's called? Animatable body. That's 3D. We want animatable body, 2D. And then we add in the platforms again. And then we on edit region. Okay, so I need to make, I'm specifically adding right now the lava ones. Close. So that, and then you need to add a collision box. Collision shape. Create. There we go. And we're gonna name this lava platform L. Just to know that it's the large one. And we need it in scenes. Save. Okay. So like... delete. Okay. Delete. Okay. Where the fuck did my platforms go? Wait a minute here. Hey, why is it all coins? Yeah, they're still in there. What the fuck happened here? Where's my platforms on the game screen? Excuse me. Okay. I was just being silly. Okay, okay. So many coins. Each coin comes with a price. There's some tedious work, but it's okay. They're contained. Okay. Now. What's going on here? Bruh. Something's going on here. Okay, what did I do wrong? This is closed in shape. There's a platform. Sprite 2D. Sprite 2D. No, that is a Sprite 2D. I did do that. It's an animatable body. Why is it not working? What did this one do? It's 2 sprite 2D ones. It's 2 sprite 2D.
Let's set it to 1 path. We might want some platforms to move around to increase difficulty.
Okay, I'm gonna go
Use
back.
animation to do that. I'm gonna leave this platform here as kind of a static platform. I'm just gonna place it there. Then I'm going to place another platform over here by simply dragging it in. This is the platform that I would like to move back and forth. 0. Because they all have the same index, they are drawn according to their order index behind the platform. We plot it. Find the platform, save the scene, add a rectangle shape, and now we can simply click and drag this to configure it. Okay, the warning here, so let's go ahead. When we close it, we can see our sprite perfectly cropped out. Again, we have the warning here, so let's go ahead and add a collision shape 2D. For the shape, I'm going to add a rectangle shape, and now we can simply click and drag this to configure it. Then let's rename our top node here to...
No, he has the 3. What the heck happened here? I know this wouldn't go one way. Because this is obviously here. Like, that's there. Go. There's nothing here. There's nothing here that says it should. Nothing here that says it should be doing that. But when I put it in, it doesn't show up. Why are you... Okay. Delete. Okay. Okay. Bro? Okay. Problem solved, I think. Yes, okay. Okay. I want that one to be the other one, but... Okay, animation. Okay. And then we add the animation player. Okay. New. Okay, and we select this. This is key 1. And this one over to, let's make it 1.5. And then actually, I'm gonna have it be a little bit further. Okay. Okay. Autoplay with non-load. There we go. That works. Okay. This area is a lot sparser, but that's fine right now. Wait for it to come back. Up. Leap of faith. Little spike trap. Can get over that, no problem now. A little bit of problem, but that seems to be mostly if you just jump too high. Now this is going to be a spike trap. The issue is right now, there's no way to fucking die if you go down there. So for now I'm gonna do a little reset button so I don't have to do that over and over. I need to see if it is possible to get over that gap. Because if it isn't, I need to mess around with my thing. But if it is, then we're fine.
Mind if I talk to you for a few minutes?
Okay, I don't think it's possible. So what we're gonna do... There we go. That should fix it, I think. Oops. You see, I myself am bad. Okay. There we go. Okay. You guys can't see me failing at my own game. Okay. Needlessly hard, but it is possible. Number one issue I'm running into is I have a lot of things there's too much of a ceiling because of how the jump works. I wonder if I could fix that by lowering the velocity. Okay. Tile map. Okay, that should make things infinitely easier in that way. It still is going to be a little bit difficult. Okay. Shooting platformers definitely are not my expertise. I don't think I want to really go into them. I think they can be fun, but I don't think I'm one for making the whole map and everything. My opinion might change based on like... Anyways.
Pickups.
Fine.
We fall down, name this. I'll make one for, say, coins, and simply take all of the coins and
Okay.
drag them under that node. We can do the same thing for platforms and any other elements that are cluttering up your scene. Now I'm going to paint in a bit more level and change the things that I don't like. And I'll put in some more gameplay elements. I'll also paint in some background tiles, but to do this we need to add another layer to our tile map. So not under our tile set, but under the tile map itself we have this.
Okay. Layers.
This layers, and this is the one we've been painting in. Let's just call this mid for mid round and add another
Name. Oh.
one that we can call background.
Why are you naming it, keeping the name layer 1 when I'm trying to... Background. Okay.
Let's move this to the top to make sure that it's drawn first. And now when painting, we need to select the right layer to paint on. So let's select the background, and then we're going to
So it's really interesting about this versus like a lot of the art programs is it registers from like the very first to okay. We're gonna do some broad strokes here. So it's not gonna be like a straight shot up. I'm just gonna like overpaint just to make sure. And we're gonna make our upper layers here. So you make like an in-between layer of that to kind of transition it. I think. No, that doesn't work. Okay. I just want to make sure that everything's like on it. Okay, so now okay. So it doesn't look the best. I think I want more of the midsection for sure. But very good to know. Okay, I'm pretty sure you only want it at the like border. Okay. Okay, how does that look comparatively? Okay, much better. There's this random strip, but I can fix that. Okay. Okay. So that looks good. Hey. It also adds that like verticality that I wanted. Oh. I need the dark blue to be further down. It was only a bit, but still. I'd rather it be covered. Okay. Now if I go off and die. Yep. Okay. I think that's enough progress for today. Thank you so much for hanging out. It was only a little bit today, but let's go. Bye bye. Bye bye bye.